Okay. Well, good evening. Okay, welcome to Hong Kong DI's first branding seminar 2014. I'm Raymond Au. Okay, for those who know me, I'm the same Raymond who used to work for PolyU for 35 years. All right, and that is why some people would call me or introduce me as the godfather of fashion because of my age only. All right, okay. In fact, I just joined Hong Kong DI for 2.5 months, okay, because I believe that there are a lot of, more exciting, interesting challenges here, right? So the main reason, okay, why we hold this event was for the first time to bring local awareness to the successful brands in Hong Kong. Second, to promote design and creativity and originality. And third, encourage those people with hearts, okay, to achieve their dreams, okay. By the way, each of you should have a questionnaire. Wait a minute, okay, like that, okay, questionnaire, okay. When you come in, grateful if you can actually complete it and return to our staff. We really want to see how we can improve for the next time. To show our gesture, we will give out 2 special coupons, okay, for you once you submit your questionnaire to us, okay. That's the sort of a deal we make it. Okay, back to business. Tonight, Hong Kong DI is honored to have 2 special speakers. Mind you, they seldom give public speech or talks as they are super busy. With the charisma from our super angel, Gillian Lee, okay, she is able to make it happen. So a big hand for Gillian and her team, please. Now, this is not in the script, I'll tell you, all right? Okay, so our first speaker is Michael Young. Michael is a leading British industrial designer working in Hong Kong. He was selected by Sir Terence Conran as the most inspirational British designer. His mission is to provide exclusive and quality design for furniture, product, and interior design markets. To name a few, his clients include Coca-Cola, Bacardi, Capellini, Cathay Pacific, George Jensen, and Trussardi, etc., etc. Okay. His work has been shown in Pompidou Museum and the Louvre Museum in Paris, Design Museum in London, and so exhibitions in Asia, America, and Europe. Another way to describe him, okay, to describe Michael, is that he's a multi-talented designer. Okay. Without further ado, let's welcome Michael Young.
Thanks. Hi. Let me just turn this on quickly. It's so I can see what I'm actually going to talk about. I'm just going to sit down and keep this. Really? I have to lean it against my chin this way around. Okay. Well, look, thanks for coming on a Friday night, though, saying that you've probably all just come to see Lu Lu and I'm on first. But, I'd like to think some of you came to see me. But that's good. Oh, yes, I need the thing. Okay. Oh, you mean you're going to... Yeah, that would be useful. So I guess I'm just going to talk for half an hour. And I guess also the funny thing is really that I sort of became my own brand, designing for other brands. You could say that's probably more a mark of survival. And, the way my work has gone, when I left college now 20 years ago, there were probably only 10 what we call famous designers in England, people like Tom Dixon, Ron Arad, Jasper Morrison, Ross Lovegrove, those sort of people. And now design has become such a big universal business. There's thousands of famous designers, and but that's not really the point. The point is I was fortunate to come into the design world when there weren't so many designers, and design was just becoming important, because when I left college, this was the profession you got involved in. If you failed maths, you failed English, you couldn't become a fashion designer, you were no good at art, and you weren't a successful musician, then you ended up going to design school. And it was quite, for me, like, oh my God, I found my way to this job through failure. Thankfully, all I ever wanted in my life was freedom, and all I could ever do was really draw. So I guess, you know, I came to design through quite a natural process. So what I'm going to do is really, I'm going to talk about a few branding cases, shall we say, but I'm also going to talk about things that I believe help you become successful. And ultimately, for me, one of the most important things to have is a good product, because without that, you really have nothing. And you know, you can blow hot smoke around. Anyone can be famous now. Anyone can be on the internet. You know, you can take your clothes off outside Buckingham Palace and you'll be instantly recognized all over the world. But you know, there are better ways to do it if you want to make a living. I just want to show a few things for 5 minutes. You know, as a designer, I have to survive with whatever I have around me. I have a vision with what I like to do with products, but ultimately, you know, if you put me in a desert, I'd make things out of sand. You put me in China and I'll make things out of everything around me. And that was the greatest thing that ever really happened to me, was coming to Hong Kong, because 10 years ago, or 2006, I think 2004, I really started to come over here a little bit. I suddenly realized I was in the greatest gift shop on the planet. This is the first thing I ever designed, really, when I came to Asia. I was on the Star Ferry, and this guy had seen me in a Taiwanese magazine, and he said, look, I've got this factory. I can make watches. Do you want to design one? And I'll make it. And I said, okay. I didn't know him, and I sent him a drawing. I went back to, I had an office in Brussels at the time, and I sent this drawing. I designed it in a few minutes, really. It was just something that came on a sketch, and I said, make it. I came back to Hong Kong a month later, and he made this for me. It cost $3 or $4 at the time, maybe more, maybe 5. And suddenly I realized that I can do almost anything I want, and through design, I can put an immense value on a few $. And then we sold it for $100, and everyone started buying it. I had no intentions of doing this. It was just a sort of accident. But what it taught me very early on was that there was it was very straightforward for me to get into distribution and through designing a good product. And people just around the world bought this, and I accidentally had a little watch company for a while. I stopped it because my focus is really industrial design, but it really was a decision breaker for me to open an office here. I guess going back to thinking like this, for me, I love this picture because it's kind of like it's kind of chaos in an organized way. And for me, the first thing when I came over to Asia, I started making things out of local things, and I started very early on just making things. Now I can't sell this in China. This is a table made of folded paper, and though it's actually not so cheap to do, I suddenly realized by sending this to Europe, the value of such things becomes massive, because this is a craft in Europe. The folded paper, it's got a story, it's got beauty, but perhaps if you go to Hollywood Road and you see a little man looking like Mickey Mouse made out of this, it has no value. So it's a